Hello, my name is Lily Howe, and today I'll be exploring mental health as a critical curriculum issue in health and physical education. This presentation will analyse mental health education through four key lenses: sociological, historical, cultural, and ethical. Mental health among young Australians is a growing concern. 1 in 7 children aged 4 to 17 experience a mental health disorder. As a result, HPE has a vital role in promoting well-being, resilience, and mental health literacy. The challenges remain in how mental health is addressed and understood in schools. This presentation aims to examine these challenges from four critical perspectives. The sociological perspective. The sociological perspective helps us understand how mental health is shaped by social conditions, like family, peer influence, school culture, and technology. Social media, for example, has increased exposure to cyberbullying and body image pressures. Gender also plays a role. Boys are often discouraged from expressing emotion, while girls are more likely to seek help. School connectedness and positive relationships with teachers have been shown to reduce mental health risks. The HPE classroom becomes a key site for fostering inclusivity, peer support, and help-seeking behaviours. Historical perspective. Historically, mental health was absent from the HPE curriculum. Early models focused on discipline, hygiene, and physical activity. The shift towards holistic health occurred around the 1990s, with national policies like the Australian National Mental Health Strategy influencing schools. Recent curriculum developments, like the Australian curriculum, HPE explicitly promote emotional well-being and mental health literacy. This perspective reveals how far we've come, but also highlights the need to continually update the curriculum in response to the changing societal needs. A cultural perspective reminds us that mental health is experienced and expressed differently across communities. For example, in CILD communities, mental illness may be seen as a weakness or taboo. This can prevent students from speaking up. Importantly, for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples, social and emotional well-being is deeply connected with community, land, cultural identity. HPE teachers must embed culturally responsive pedagogies and value Indigenous ways of knowing to make well-being education truly inclusive. Ethical perspective. From an ethical perspective, HPE teachers have a clear responsibility to support student well-being. First, we have a duty of care, which means recognizing signs of distress and responding appropriately. While we aim to build trust, there are times when we must break confidentiality, especially if a student is at risk of harm. It's also important to consider equity and inclusion. Mental health lessons need to be accessible, and respectful of all students, including those from culturally diverse or marginalized backgrounds. And finally, we must respect student autonomy by allowing them to engage with sensitive topics at their own pace without pressure. Ethical dilemmas in practice. In real-world teaching, ethical dilemmas often arise. For example, if a student opens up about feeling overwhelmed but asks you not to tell anyone, you have to balance their trust with your duty to keep them safe. Teachers also need to avoid unintentionally triggering students when discussing difficult topics. That's why using trauma-aware approaches and following school policies like the New South Wales Wellbeing Framework is so important. Ethical teaching means we care deeply but also act responsibly and fairly, keeping student safety and inclusion at the center of everything we do. In conclusion, exploring mental health through multiple perspectives helps us move beyond a one-size-fits-all approach. The sociological perspective reminds us that mental health is shaped by social factors like gender, class, and access to resources. The historical perspective shows us how far we've come, from silence and stigma to today's focus on well-being and inclusion. The cultural perspective highlights the importance of respecting and responding to the diverse ways mental health is understood and experienced across communities. An ethical perspective challenges us to act with care, responsibility, and fairness in everything we do as educators. Together, these perspectives encourage us to ask better questions, listen more deeply to our students, and create learning environments where every young person feels seen, safe, and supported. As future HPE teachers, we are not just teaching health content. We're shaping attitudes, building resilience, and influencing how students view their own mental well-being for years to come. That's a responsibility we need to take seriously, and these perspectives give us the tools to do it well.